I didn't step away from my family because I was angry, and I didn't do it to be rebellious. I actually did it because I started understanding myself. I've always loved the idea of a big family, holidays together, laughter, kids running around, connection. It's something that I always genuinely wanted. But at some point, I had to be honest with myself. That idea and my actual experience didn't match. I started noticing something really simple. Every time I was around certain people, my body didn't feel right. Not like a dramatic thing, just subtle tension, discomfort, anxiety. And for a long time, I ignored that because I thought, this is my family. This is normal. This is just how it is. But eventually, I understood that feeling wasn't random. It was my body recognizing something before I was ready to admit it. And when I saw that same discomfort start to affect my daughter, that's when it became clear. It's one thing for us to ignore our own feelings, but it's very different when you're responsible for someone else, for someone else's well-being. And that's when I made a decision to step back. Not because anybody or anyone is bad, and not because I hate anyone, but because I started understanding what doesn't feel right for me. And something I learned through that process is you don't always realize you're the only one holding something together until you stop. And when I stepped back, everything got very quiet. No conflict, no big conversation, just space. And instead of reacting to that, I just observed it. And that told me everything I needed to know. I think sometimes we stay in situations, not because they feel right, but because we've been taught that we're supposed to be there. But there comes a point where you have to ask yourself, does this actually feel good for me? Does this feel safe? Do I feel safe? Does this feel aligned? And when you start choosing differently, you will be tested. Situations will come up, opportunities to go back, to re-engage. And instead of reacting emotionally, I just started noticing. Do I feel at peace here, or do I feel off? And once you start listening to that, you don't need to force decisions anymore. They become very clear. Stepping away didn't come from anger. It came from understanding. And I think the most important thing I've learned is you're allowed to choose. You're allowed to choose environments that feel right for you, even if they don't look the way you once imagined.